What exactly is the altar and the ask, and how does it work? It's going to include 3 parts. First, it's going to be the ask. This is a real world sales or leadership challenge that we are all facing. Things like, how do I stay bold in the sales process when I'm behind on my quota? Or maybe something like, should I disqualify this lead that I'm misaligned with, but I'm close to closing and I really need the deal? With a question or a challenge like that, we're going to move to the altar. This is going to be a biblical principle or a passage that reframes the issue, because sales pressure is definitely real. I know you feel that because I do too. But we always know that scripture is as real as it gets. And finally, I want to provide an action step, because we don't just want this to be about inspiration, we want this to be about application. So I will provide one bold, practical step that you can take each week, and you'll see that in the example in just a minute here. If you're a Christian, founder, entrepreneur, or sales professional, let me ask you a question. Have you ever felt like success at work is coming at the expense of your faith or your integrity? If so, you're not alone, and you don't have to keep selling that way. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what the altar and the ask is, why I created it, and how it will help you lead with integrity, close with clarity, and walk boldly in your faith without compromising results. Plus, I'm going to give you a preview of a real topic from the series that we'll address later, so you can leave with something that you can apply today. So sit tight and wait to the end of this video. You're not going to want to miss it. Look, I've been in high-performing sales environments for more than 20 years, and I've seen the damage done when we separate faith from the field. And I've coached founders, entrepreneurs, and sales professionals that are definitely Christian and faithful to Jesus, that are performing well, but they're spiritually dry. Or they're leading teams, but they're disconnected at home. Maybe they're hitting their goals, but they're missing their purpose. That's the gap that we're closing here, the gap between who you are and ultimately who God has created you to be. The altar and the ask exists to help you bridge that gap every single week. So what exactly is the altar and the ask, and how does it work? Well, every single week, I'm going to drop one message. It's going to include 3 parts. First, it's going to be the ask. This is a real world sales or leadership challenge that we are all facing. Things like, how do I stay bold in the sales process when I'm behind on my quota? Or maybe something like, should I disqualify this lead that I'm misaligned with, but I'm close to closing and I really need the deal? Well, with a question or a challenge like that, we're going to move to the altar. This is going to be a biblical principle or a passage that reframes the issue, because sales pressure is definitely real. I know you feel that because I do too. But we always know that scripture is as real as it gets. And finally, I want to provide an action step, because we don't just want this to be about inspiration, we want this to be about application. So I will provide one bold, practical step that you can take each week, and you'll see that in the example in just a minute here. You're going to be able to find these as weekly LinkedIn posts. Expanded versions will be via video on YouTube, and if there's enough interest, we may start sending out a weekly email newsletter and maybe even producing a devotional book in the future. So let's work through a live topic, something that we are probably dealing with today, maybe right in the moment. I want to help you close with conviction, not control. So let's consider the ask. You've got a proposal out and you're waiting. And you're tempted to follow up again and again and again, because you feel like if you don't control the close, you're going to lose the deal. And it's wise to be in control of the sales process, but we have to be careful that we don't hold on too tightly. Ever been there? Well, let's go to the altar. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 says it this way: trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, that's the Lord, and God will make your paths straight. God's never asked us to manipulate an outcome. He's asked us to be obedient and faithful in the process. So what's the action step? Well, instead of chasing out of fear, follow up with faith. So I've written out an example email that I would send in a situation like this that I'm going to read for you and see if it's something that maybe you can use and apply right now. So I would start off a subject line with something like, here to support your next best step. Hi, whoever the prospect's name is. I wanted to reconnect because I truly believe the path that we have mapped out has the potential to deliver strong outcomes for you and your team. That said, my goal isn't to push, it's to partner. Whether you decide to move forward with us or not, I want you to feel fully confident that you're making the right call for where you're at and where you desire to go. If there's anything holding you back, timing, clarity, or a specific concern, I'm more than happy to talk through any one of those things with zero pressure. So let me know if you're open to reopening the conversation or need anything from me. Simple email that you can fire off to any one of your deals that's gone a little bit stale to see if you can get that process re-engaged to. So that would be an action step that I would provide at the end of one of these Alter in the Ask series. So how can you engage moving forward? Well, as I said, we're going to post to LinkedIn every single Monday, and we're also going to post an expanded version to YouTube every Monday as well. We're going to work through monthly themes like conviction over control, discerning the right types of clients, obedience over outcomes. Each message is intended to be short, punchy, and deeply rooted in both sales wisdom and biblical truth. This isn't just content. It's a cadence of clarity. It's your weekly reset. It's your reminder and ultimately your fuel. That is the opportunity we have with our faith. So if you're a faith-driven owner, founder, entrepreneur, or sales professional who wants to lead with truth, if you want to sell with integrity, and you actually want to enjoy the sales process again, here's what to do. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on LinkedIn. And if you don't know where to find those, we'll put those links down below so you can click them and jump right in. You and I, we were created for far more than commission. We were called to greatness, but never at the cost of our soul. The Alter in the Ask is created and delivered to remind you, you don't have to sell like the world to succeed in it.